Hello and welcome to my thoughts on The Storm of Zephyr Heights. If you have already watched my thoughts on issues 1 and 2, you can just jump to like 30-ish minutes, there'll be a timestamp, to go straight to issue 3. But if you do want to know my thoughts on issues 1 and 2 while I was reading through them, here they are. I'm a little excited for this. But also, I have no expectations that this will be amazing. Not to rag on Whitley, but just more often than not, when he sets up, his grand plots, they kinda nosedive and implode right when they get to the end. Legends of Magic was great, but that also had a predestined outcome for it to build to, but Nightmare Nights kind of ran out of time to really tell the story. Season 10, But regardless of how the stories end, they're always really cool premises at least. But going into this, things I'm kind of looking out for, Whitley loves to reference his own stories. Things like Legends of Magic, Season 10, Nightmare Nights, any story he's written is going to be canon. So I'm interested to see how it's going to get woven into this plot. And our artist is Andy Price, which, not my favorite artist. Not because of art style, but just because of the incessant amount of gags and references that he just shovels in at every possible turn. It's a little overwhelming for me. It is fun and funny though, until it hits the critical mass and then it's overwhelming. And something I learned about his style while going through Season 10, he does not give a fuck if his dumb art gags or references completely take away from the story at hand. Just something to keep in mind. Alright, enough of the preamble. So, our story starts off at Zephyr Heights. Yeah, makes sense. Queen Haven is going on a vacation to the Maldives. Nice horse pun, always appreciated. And Zip is going to be acting queen for a whole week. That doesn't really sound all that bad because, the Pegasus Kingdom is just Zephyr Heights. And it's not like there's neighboring nations that she needs to maintain relations with. This literally sounds like a nothing job. I believe in Zip, but she is freaking out. Good thing she's not doing this alone. Even though Pip just I just booked the spa for a week, you'll be fine. That's funny. Me and Pip on the same wavelength. And with that, Queen Haven is gone. And Zip's first task, citing Get Well cards. Why is that a task? What a good queen. Apparently that's all she has is paperwork, so the other 5, go off and chill. I'm so glad they were here to help. Oh, I just noticed. Sunny's cutie mark is backwards. The swoopy totally goes along her butt, right? That's funny. Dusty old history books! What else could Sunny ever need? She is a lore whore. So Sunny and Misty are hanging out in the library. I don't know how likely it is that Misty will find some spell books in a Pegasus library, but might as well try. Izzy's hanging out in a craft hall. Hitch is hanging out with animals. And since we are now at the library, I must read every single book title. That is one thing I really do like about Price. He titles all of his books. Alright, so we got the history of party cannons, which Sunny can't make sense of. Don't even try, my dude. Smarter ponies than you have. The pop-up book of terrifying things, the case against beats, the fall of the House of Apple. So many books. Wait, is that a Seinfeld reference? Coffee tables? It's really hard to make out the pixels, but it looks like it could say C. Kramer. I don't know.
Hey, buddy, it's all happening. What's happening? The coffee table book. It's a go!
Okay, anyway, what's the story going on? I was just reading book titles. Okay, so Zip is come out to Sunny and wants to ask her about the thing she showed, that room. Yes, that room with the Wonderbolts poster. Okay, so they don't know anything about the history of the Wonderbolts. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier with, Price's irregard for the plot at hand. Everything from around Twilight's time is missing. Yet we have the photography of Photo Finish, the prophecies of Cheese Sandwich, The political downfall of Mayor Mare. Those sound like they're from around Twilight's time. Very funny, don't get me wrong. But it'd be nice if the art, helped bring context to the story. What it seems like Sunny is supposed to be reading is not the history of party cannons, but Pegasi history. And when she's like, this can't be everything, this doesn't make any sense, she's just skipping from pre-equestrian history to post-Zephyr Heights history, and that's why she's confused. Okay, so why would all the books from Twilight's time be missing from the Zephyr Heights library? We know that before Zephyr Heights, we lived somewhere else, but the archaeologists have never been able to find the Pegasus homeland. That is probably because they could not fly. So is that what the story's gonna be about? Finding Cloudsdale? Because, big question. What's going on with all the weather? Who is making it? We know from Tell Your Tale that there is a enchanted weather machine that's making weather. Are there more? Who made it? They had to go through some kind of portal to get to it, so where is it actually at? Also, obviously, I don't think the events of Tell Your Tale have any bearing on the events of the story, but we could be exploring a similar idea. It is interesting that Sunny notes that they do have old legends, and that the legend of Flash Magnus is indeed in the library. So even Cloudsdale is considered a myth. Not that far-fetched if their only record of it is from things like the legends of Flash Magnus. I'm assuming this name drop of Flash Magnus will be relevant to the plot at hand. Kinda hard to ignore the blatant reference to bravery in a story about Zip. Actually, even the opening of this story, Queen Haven, telling Zip that she's expecting her to lead in her own way. I'm a princess of a different kind, always trying to figure out why. When my cutie mark comes to life, I blast bravely through the sky. Alright, there it is. There's the setup for our story. God, I love that we have these dumb little mantras. Also an important note, it's not just the history from Twilight's reign that's missing, it's all the history from Celestia's reign. As you know, the Wonderbolts were formed in the aftermath of Nightmare Moon. So Pip makes it seem like the Pegasi don't know that they can touch clouds. And come to think of it, I mean, not that my memory of Make Your Mark or Tell Your Tale is anywhere near my library of knowledge that is friendship is magic. I can't think of an instance in G5 where they really do anything with clouds, the Pegasi. Except for the place where rainbows are made, but the whole crew can touch those clouds, so does it really count? Alright, anyway, it is spa time! Hell yeah! And on the way to the spa, we get a weather forecast saying that there's a storm coming in. Perhaps this is the titular storm of Zephyr Heights. Zip talking about Pegasi getting struck by lightning. Could this be foreshadowing? Okay, so the gang's at the spa. Izzy is reading Captain Good Guy. Ah, yes. The Reflections Alternate Universe Discord. What's this? Cold white stuff? That's funny. Oh, Sunny's cutie mark got fixed. That's even funnier now. Poor Zip. Looks like that storm came early. And much like her mother taking a bath that was too long, Zip found herself with her pants down, not prepared. Oh god, it's not just any storm, it's some kind of super storm. Oh no, and it stopped right above the city. However, could a group of Pegasi combat this? The only reasonable thing to do is evacuate. It's not like they could fly up there and punch it. That's ridiculous. Yeah, and more evidence to the fact that the Pegasi don't know that they can in fact touch clouds. And apparently... Alright, Sunny has transferred some of her Alicorn magic to Pip. Not unrealistic, just that Sunny doesn't quite seem knowledgeable enough in magic. But in theory, it is something she definitely could do, but also, since it's just an art thing, I'm not even going to acknowledge it until it's actually part of the story. I'm sorry, but I simply don't trust Price's art to actually support the story. Alright, and that's the end of part 1. So immediately, this makes me think of Legends of Magic, Flash Magnus, and the Royal Legion, where there's an accident at the weather factory, and the storm clouds they were supposed to make accidentally got like 10 times bigger. And it's up to Flash Magnus to blast bravely through the sky to save all the Griffins of Griffinstone. Also, what are the chances that this superstorm that's coming over Zephyr Heights might just be Cloudsdale? this storm just so happened to move over Zephyr Heights and then stop and then grew to 3 times the size. We know Cloudsdale is a mobile city, and it grew to triple in size because there's a problem with the weather manufacturing plant. Not like we have particularly any info to go off of at the moment, but much like the cover shows, I expect Zip is going to blast bravely through the sky and try to punch the shit out of this storm. Maybe because Sunny's like, she read that book about Flash Magnus. What are the chances that it's the legend that Starswell wrote about Griffinstone? And then she tells Zip, in this one myth, I read that the Pegasi, punched a superstorm, and it worked. Whitley does like to reference his own continuity, so it's not impossible. And then she goes over there to punch it, and turns out it's Cloudsdale the whole time. That would be a way to get the ball rolling on this story. Because I don't really think the point of the story is going to be just simply learning about Wonderbolts and Cloudsdale. We, the reader, kinda already know about this stuff. That's called dramatic irony. I assume more of the story's focus is going to be on why the Pegasi history from Celestia and Twilight's reigns are missing. Ooh, maybe it's malicious. Maybe the superstorm is sent here to kill Zephyr Heights. And whoever took the books controls the storm and wants to abolish the false Pegasi kingdom because all hail the one true Queen Twilight Sparkle. I hope Sunny actually does something in this story. Come on, let's pull back from Zip and Pip a little bit. Let's get Sunny in there. Come on, she's like the alicorn. You know it's pretty good at clearing storms. Hope as bright as the sun. God, I love saying that shit. I know I just said, let's pull back from Zip and Pip, ha 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 ha. But it's kinda hard to talk about bravery without bringing up confidence. After all, confidence is what gives Rainbow Dash the courage to fail. And it's not just Rainbow, confidence is also a quality Flash Magnus has. So it's only fitting that the Royal Sisters have complementary buzzwords. Because I mean, Pip coming in to help Zip is what gives her the confidence that she can be queen for a week. And Zip was confident at the end until she saw the storm. So Pip, let's reignite that confidence so that Zip can blast bravely through the sky and punch the shit out of that storm. I think that's all I have to say about part 1. My hype levels are a little low, but nothing's happened yet. I trust Whitley to come up with an interesting idea. So I have faith. Let him cook. Those words won't bite me, I know it. It's not really a factor with Whitley whether he cooks or not, it's whether he burns it or not. So, only one way to find out. Whitley also writes some of my favorite comic characters. Stygian, Luna, Sombra, Tempest, even Danu's pretty good too. And I'm sure this story will have some cool characters too. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out of the way now. Art changes. 1. I simply made Sunny's wings and horn in this scene brighter. And 2. This panel is really, really tall, so I just simply cut it in half and moved the dialogue bubble down. Very baby art changes. I thought about fixing Sunny's cutie mark for the first half, and I also thought about fixing the coloring on the Pegasus crown, but... Oh, spoiler? I just wrote a spoiler? It's a little baby spoiler though, I'm gonna say it out loud. So I was perusing the Cloudsdale wiki because I needed to find Pegasus stuff to make the goddamn border for the thumbnail and whatnot. And I just saw a sentence, I think it's like a promotional for the comic. Cloudsdale crashes into Zephyr Heights and threatens it with eternal winter. So, yep, it just is Cloudsdale. Well, it was pretty apparent, so not that big of a deal, but alright, yeah, that's all.
The Storm of Zephyr Heights Part 2. But anyway, our story starts off with Zip
Warning every pony that there's a super storm and that we are evacuating. But poor little Pegasus pony. Oh no, the wind's too strong.
Good thing Sunny's here to save her.
And yep, here's Pip. Wow, what a shocker. She does not have an alicorn magic horn. I love that this little Pegasus colt she's got hearts as eyes. Crazy that this random Pegasus just casually knows who Sunny is. But I guess she is the alicorn. Looks like Hitch has already evacuated all the ponies he could with the help of the animals. And now he's just working on getting all the little critters out. Got some Pegasnails, some Bunasai, a Raccoonicorn, and for some reason, Kenneth and other seagull are here. How did Kenneth get here? Don't get me wrong, I love Kenneth. So now it's just up to Izzy and Misty to make sure the snow gets plowed and they guide everyone out. Yep, there's Izzy spinning signs. No, Misty! Oh god, she can't handle the wind. I believe in her, she's got this. Well, I wanna believe in Misty. She probably doesn't have this. Probably gonna need some Pegasi magic to fight this storm, buddy. Sorry to tell you. Oh, Misty had an idea, and some pony thinks it's good. That's so cute. She deserves positive affirmation. I just finished reading through Black, White, and Blue, and that's kind of the gist of the story. Oh yes, Zip, embrace that confidence! Go save every pony! Oh god, now they're trapped in the castle, they're gonna lose power, they don't have enough wood for all the fireplaces. God damn it, Misty. This is why you don't have ideas. We need something heavier, like a boat for the air. Do we have a Zeppelin lying around or something? Pip seems to think so, cause she, gives Misty some more of that sweet, positive affirmation. Keep coming up with ideas, Misty. Alternate idea, our resident lore whore, Sunny Star Scout. She's got to have read at least one book about hearth swarming. Just a little fire friendship goes a long way. Probably too advanced of a spell for Sunny, but it would help. Oh, Izzy's got a cute little hat now. Where did that come from? Yep, they, sure do just have a Zeppelin. Oh, I just had a thought. Nothing to do with the current situation at hand, but Sunny giving Pip the Alicorn buff in part 1. Maybe that is genuine foreshadowing. Is this how we're going to get the whole gang into the clouds? Well, onto the clouds, rather. Because if my theory is correct that this storm is Cloudsdale, and they're all getting a Zeppelin, so no shot they can penetrate the storm wall with this thing. But it might take them all the way up to the storm, and maybe into the eye of the storm. So Zip doesn't know how it works, but Misty's gonna try. But you know who actually probably could figure this out? Our local engineer, builder, maker, crafter, fixer of all things broken, Izzy Moonbow. Girl loves to tinker. Oh, did Misty find a spell for this in the library? Maybe some of the mechanical parts rely on magic, kind of like Tank's gyrocopter? With Izzy and Misty here, I got no doubt this thing is getting fixed immediately. Oh, and Hitch is there for moral support. Oh, okay. So Zip doesn't care about the airship at all. Just something for those grounded ponies to waste their time on. Wait, Zip thinks Pip is the second strongest Pegasus? No shot, I don't believe that for a moment. But it is nice of her to say. Ooh, even Pip doesn't think she is, but she's got that confidence to try anyway. No, Sunny, I got no doubt. Sunny is probably the strongest flyer. She's got that sweet Alicorn magic surging through her veins. So Zip's gonna try and brute force. Obviously, that's probably not gonna work. Maybe Sunny can, but we're probably gonna rely on Izzy coming in to save the day with her brand new Zeppelin she just fixed, because girl can make literally anything. If only she had her absurd creation of all things jutsu that the Nova Charm gives her. I love the dichotomy of Pip with her confidence and Sunny with her lack of confidence. I wonder if the three of them will end up getting separated, causing Zip to lose her confidence anchor in Pip. And then Pip and Sunny will be stuck together, and then Sunny's gonna start freaking the hell out. Even though Sunny is the much more powerful pony of the two. Yeah, look, they lost their rope. They don't say anything about it. Is this part of the story, or did the artist decide to just not draw the rope anymore? The artist just stopped drawing it. As soon as they take back off, it magically reappears, okay. Art change? Whenever the rope isn't drawn in, I draw it in? Zip has seriously been pushing herself this entire issue so far. She's been non-stop flying around in this storm, getting pelted by snow, constantly relaying between Misty, Hitch, and Sunny, and now she is dragging Pip and Sunny across the sky. They do not look like they have been pulling their weight literally at all. They already made note that she was exhausted. Could this be foreshadowing, or just a method of padding out the runtime? We shall see. But either way, she did it, despite Sunny and Pip, getting absolutely demolished. Zip was able to blast bravely through the sky, and is now in a magical city in the clouds, which may or may not be Cloudsdale. That is to be determined. Meanwhile, we are back in Zephyr Heights with a mysterious voice speaking, which may or may not be Hitch. Is he talking to himself? I'm actually extremely confused. I feel like they're referencing something, and I don't get it, and I'm feeling very left out. Why is Misty head engineer on this project? Why did Izzy cede control of this tour? Why are there two Izzies? Oh well. Should I reskin the Izzy on the ship? That's a problem for future me to worry about. I don't know, man. Ah, yes, here we go. Cloudsdale. Confirmed. Kinda already knew that, but I'm glad we got the confirmation finally. I'm glad Zip's crown has materialized. She was looking a little naked without it for the first half. I understand why they got a second artist, but it is really weird when details are suddenly popping in and out of existence. We are defying the laws of physics right now. It's called magic, my dude. How do you think you flew up here? Pip is being unrealistic? She didn't immediately whip out her phone and start recording? Hashtag not my Pip? Okay, here's Pip's phone. There we go. Why is there a leaf on that awning? I'm pretty sure we're pretty far away from trees. I know this detail like 100% means literally nothing, but it caught my eye, and it's weird. It is the only leaf here. Oh god, Pip just flashed that hedgehog. If Gremlins has taught me anything, it will now develop an insatiable appetite for alcohol and cigarettes. So according to Wikipedia, it's pronounced Akinsana. It is some kind of derivation of Gaelic, and refers to hedgehogs. But Sadie probably wouldn't pronounce it correctly. Yeah, she can call it an Arkansani until someone says otherwise. Okay, I'm gonna flip. What is gonna happen to this hedgehog? It's just blinded. Wait, oh god, no. He's about to turn around and reveal something. I'm not even gonna read the page. I have to see what this hedgehog is gonna do. He's just shooting spines. It just made him mad. Damn. That was disappointing. I wonder how this hedgehog correlates to the horrific storm assaulting Zephyr Heights. What are we playing, Sonic 06? Is this hedgehog the Iblis trigger? Yo, Pip's connection up here is good enough to live stream? That's crazy. Oh, Pip says she knows how he feels. Liar, only Misty has the heart to feel. Oh my god, that's the plot. Misty has to appease this poor little hedgehog, and only then will he call off the storm. Look, until we see some other pony who clearly caused the storm, that's the truth as far as I'm concerned. Man, when are we gonna get into the plot? Feels like we're dragging these nuts across my face. Ha ha ha, got him. Do we really need to flash back to Hitch, Misty, and Izzy? We know they're gonna fix it. What are they gonna contribute to the plot? I am begging. You know what? Let's find out. I'm gonna keep reading. Oh my god. Did we really go back to them just to see 3 pages of, oh hey, they're kind of made an amount of progress? Really? Obviously, Izzy can fix this. Oh, this is the halfway point, brother. What is the story about? I will say, though, this line that Misty drops, I always knew Opaline forcing me to do things without giving me any resources would come in handy. That is so fucking funny. What a great reason for Misty to be head engineer. So dumb. I love it. God, I hate to say it, but so far, honestly, this story seems pretty cooked. There's only 3 issues of this, right? There's one more, presumably double feature on that as well, but, you know, maybe the next 10 pages are fire, you know? And maybe issue 3 is gonna be, like, a total banger. Maybe we just hit the boring lull, and everything after this is just like 10 out of 10. Mwah. Just gotta have that hope, you know? Bright as the sun. Alright, anyway, we're back at Cloudsdale, being chased by a hedgehog. Maybe he'll chase us towards some clues. Okay, so Zip aggroes another hedgehog, which apparently aggroes a whole army of hedgehogs. SMH Zip cowering. You don't have to tell me twice. Nice bravery, bro. And they got chased right into a library! Sunny can finally read all this Pegasus lore! Yes! I wonder if we will learn why Zephyr Heights has no information on Cloudsdale. I love that seeing the library is what reassures Pip that this is indeed Cloudsdale. Oh, I guess it's because it has a giant fucking banner that says Cloudsdale. Okay, so we are introducing Somnambula to Sunny, even though she's, like, not really associated with Cloudsdale, really, but I guess she is a Pegasus. So is this a dual Zip Sunny story? I hope so. I really hope Sunny gets some spotlights. I have no clue how Storm, Hedgehogs, Flash Magnus, and Somnambula all relate to each other. Obviously, Flash Magnus and Somnambula relate to each other, but I mean, hedgehogs? Where do the hedgehogs come into play? I can't wait to find out. Why is Flash Magnus the one narrating the history of the Pegasi at the Cloudsdale Library? Just roll with it, just roll with it. Don't question it, just let it go. What a surprise. The Weather Factory is indeed the thing causing this storm. Oh, it finally makes sense why we're fucking wasting time with the fucking airship. Because we need some technological prowess in order to fix the Weather Factory, along with Pegasus magic. Is this story really just going to be about informing the gang about information that we have known for the past decade about how Pegasus magic works? Is that really all that this story is? It can't be. It can't be. That doesn't explain the hedgehogs. There has to be more. But I guess for now, that's where this issue ends. Well, I have literally no clue what the fuck is going on with the story. I don't know how it could end. I feel like we've not been told literally anything about anything, so I don't think there's anything to talk about. Let me just state for the record, the actual writing, like the whole confidence theming, like Zip's lack of confidence for the situation and Pip trying to help her along. It's also, like, surprisingly, Misty is exuding confidence. Like, Giga Chad Misty. And I'm assuming once Misty and the gang come up here, her confidence will be pivotal in helping Zip fix the factory. I keep giving credit to Pip to help Zip, but Hope is also pretty pivotal in confidence and bravery. Together, these three very much symbolize the ability to believe in yourself, as well as the will to never give up. You know, like Zip repeatedly slamming her head into the storm wall. This is a very well thought out group of ponies to take on such a monumental task. And presumably, they will face another monumental task at the climax of this story. And while that's going on, you know, maybe team creativity will come up here and then come up with a solution that's not punch it until it stops. That being said, I don't even know what the climax could be. What is the problem? The problem is that the Weather Factory's on, but we don't know why it got turned on, or who turned it on. What, did a hedgehog just roll that 1 in 14 million to walk across a console and press a button and release the storm? I'm hoping this is just a pacing problem, and there's actually some kind of thing actually going on here. Because this does feel like a targeted attack on Zephyr Heights. Cloudsdale just happened to literally stop above it? Okay, I'm sure a hedgehog accidentally did that too. So, like, I perfectly understand the theming that they're placing here, and I am enjoying it. I just don't understand what the hell is going on with the actual storyline. Okay, let's move on to art changes. Okay, 1. There are a handful of scenes where Zip, Pip, and Sunny should have the rope tied to them, but don't. I draw it in. 2. There are a handful of scenes where Sunny does not have her horn, so I draw it in. 3. In this panel here, Pip does not have her mane. Same thing in this panel right here, so I threw in her mane. And lastly, I give this Izzy doppelganger a makeover because, you know, 2 Izzies in the same shot for some reason. And if there's supposed to be 2 Izzies because that's a plot point, I'm just stupid, I guess. Oops, my bad.
And here we are, the finale of the Storm of Zephyr Heights.
Last we left, our girls were, fighting hedgehogs in Cloudsdale on their way to turn off the weather factory. Let's see
what other obstacles Zip must brave.
Alright, there's a whole army of them weeding, and they're going to split up and try to Metal Gear Solid their way to the factory. Unfortunately for Zip, she takes all the aggro. And Pip is doing what she does best, sings. This is literally what Discord did against the Changelings, which didn't work. Will it work this time? It's wild that Sunny has not once used her magic to defend against these hedgehogs. But much like when she was flying up here, Sunny is too afraid to believe in her own abilities. But good thing she found what she does best. Make smoothies. Good job, Sunny, you did it. I am literally on the same wavelength as Zip right here. What the hell is going on? Well, the girls are now officially separated. So now Zip is all alone without Pip as her confidence anchor. Will she have the confidence and hope to get through this mess by herself? Or at least until Izzy and Misty get here to fix that factory.
Oh, this is Hitch's purpose, obviously! He's gonna talk to the hedgehogs! Yes!
That's my sheriff. He's gonna come up here and clean house. That being said, an army of hedgehogs and a broken weather machine is not really conducive to a story about Zip's bravery and being queen. Those have to be distractions to get Zip by herself to face these problems on her own. And I'm hoping that we'll have more Flash Magnus cameos. I'm hoping his only point to this story was not to be the celebrity voice actor for the Cloudsdale Library.
Meanwhile, back at Zephyr Heights.
No, the fireplace was blown out. The little ponies are going to freeze to death.
Oh, and Hitch casually drops the Zeppelin is now working.
Why do they have a one-floor elevator that needs to be taken to resume going back down the staircase? Good design right there. That's some A+ architecture. Okay, never mind. This Zeppelin is not ready. Hey, there goes Izzy. Making, what is that, a thruster? She's just making a rocket over here, Jesus. Meanwhile, Zip ran into a goddamn Thunderbird at the factory. What is going on up here? But apparently, Pip's just gotta keep on singing. Woo! She's complaining about how hard it is to sing and rhyme all of her sentences. But she could just literally sing, I don't know, one of her dozen songs that she's already written. I think Zip would understand if Pip stopped the conversation song. Oh, and there goes Pip's phone. Now Zip is officially without her confidence anchor.
Will Zip be able to sing a song all by herself?
Ah yes, the one song she knows apparently, Portrait Day Song. Well, guess I now have to learn the melody of Portrait Day Song. And we conclude the first half of the finale with the Zeppelin in the air approaching Cloudsdale. I'm so glad we learned so much about what is going on. It's just a bunch of random animals. For a 100-page story, this plot is so mundane. That's so funny. I mean, Zip turned off the factory. Now we just gotta bust up this storm. I am confused though, because Zip just kinda casually turned off the factory. But Flash Magnus said that you would need technological prowess, which is what Misty has been building up to this entire story. But that problem is fixed. So what is Misty's role in this story now? I don't get it. Will we ever get an explanation on why Cloudsdale stopped right above Zephyr Heights and imprisoned it in a giant storm? Well, only one way to find out. Time to move on to the final part of the story. Oh, so Hitch, Misty, and Izzy are about to die, and Zip is blaming herself, and she's all pissy. And with the art change, Sunny is once again wingless and hornless. A queen is supposed to know what to do. I just wish some pony would give me some sort of... And then she runs off to a Wonderbolts poster. What are you going to learn from this poster? You going to learn how to punch clouds? Oh, to the Wonderbolts Hall of Fame. Ah, yes. Doesn't particularly overlap with weather stuff, but where we go with the Zip. Yes, Pip, exactly my thoughts. This is cool, but why are we here? Zip's getting distracted. Meanwhile, her friends are dying. Oh god, Zip, hurry. Oh, mysterious blue text box? Is this once again Flash Magnus's hologram? Nope, it's Rainbow Dash. Yeah, whatever. Loyalty, that's kinda like bravery. Ah, yes, and now Rainbow is teaching us about the EUP guard. To protect the Princess Singular, good attention to detail. Alright, the basic physics of Pegasi magic, And, Zip's just going for it. She's, zoom! Her bravery in full force. She's gonna go punch that cloud, I guess. Meanwhile, Izzy, Hitch, and Misty still dying. But Zip's here! She just unicycled that cloud! That's a good one, Izzy. Alright, Sunny and Pip coming in to help her bust some clouds. Sunny is hornless? Art change? I gave Sunny her horn? I'm mostly bursting these clouds with vibes. God, what another banger of a line. Oh, Zip broke the sound barrier? Now she's carrying the Zeppelin, but, she's doing it, and... she's in the hospital. I guess our story is winding down. Okay, so... that was definitely a story. Alright, I have had plenty of time to digest the contents of the Storm of Zephyr Heights. I think it's okay. It generates some very weird emotions in me. The actual plotline I find so dumb, but it's so funny. And conversely, the actual character progression of Zip is executed so cleanly. There's this disconnect between the stakes and the emotions generated by the storm assaulting Zephyr Heights, and the quirky little hedgehog shenanigans that the gang finds up on Cloudsdale, which, to make it even worse, is never explained to have had any correlation with the storm. Why are the Akansana there? I mean, literally, why are they on Cloudsdale? And figuratively, why are they in the story? Of all the possible reasons for Zip and Pip to be separated, I cannot fathom why this Akansana plot was what they went with. It's so funny, though. While I find the Akansana a odd method of progressing the story, it is far from the worst offender. It's wild that we spend so much time building up Misty, only for Zip to pull a lever, instantly transforming all of Misty's successes into one huge-ass problem for Zip to solve that almost gets every pony killed. And it's a shame! The duality of Team Zip versus Team Misty is so well constructed. Misty and Izzy are confidently working on the Zeppelin. The two of them are just vibing, not a care in the world, and everything's going great. While Hitch, who is out of his element and understandably freaking out, because he has no clue if they're actually making any kind of progress on the ship at all. Misty and Izzy have the confidence and ability to repair this Zeppelin. And although Zip and Sunny may have the ability to fight this storm, they don't have the confidence. Well, Zip isn't lacking confidence in her actual abilities to fly, it's like more of her queen abilities. But at TLDR, she's not confident in something. And that's where our stylish pop star princess comes in. Much like Hitch, Pip is the one that is out of her element on Team Zip. Yet she is the only one keeping a level head, because she's confident in Zip. On multiple occasions, Pip's like, this isn't really my thing, but I'm with you all the way, sis. It's not a lack of confidence in her ability, it's a matter of fact. She is not built for this. But she knows that as long as they're together, they can handle anything. She must say this 5 different times. Zip, wait, we can help. This is one of the weirder things about Zip's character that I'm not quite sure about how to think. Maybe I'll figure it out as I talk about it more. So understandably, in part 1, when the storm hits, Zip freaks out and flies off, and Pip's like, wait, we can help. But Zip ignores her. And then she has a panic attack until Pip catches up with her and calms her down. In part 2, she's not running off by herself as she physically ties herself to Pip, but she's just flying off into the storm head first without thinking about it. And Pip's like, Zip, wait! We have to work together. Nothing happens in part 3. Part 3 is pretty fluffy in this regard. And part 4 is where it starts to get weird. Zip wants to split up. She wants to sacrifice her friends to the Akansana. In case any of them get caught, the others can just keep on going. I thought we were working together, Zip. Zip and Pip getting separated should have been forced, which it is when the hedgehogs destroy Pip's phone. But why now? Why are we splitting up here? Willingly? Doesn't really seem to make sense, and it doesn't really add to anything. Honestly, it kind of just reminds me of, like, the scenes in Scooby-Doo where everyone's just wildly running through doors and they coming out other doors. That's what them splitting up here to face the Akansana by themselves feels like to me. Sunny making smoothies, though, is pretty funny, I will say that. But then they do forcibly get separated, and Zip begins to panic, just like she does at the beginning of the story. You can't leave me in charge of this all alone. Pip was her confidence, and now she has lost her. Or has she? For the sake of the actual plotline, Zip needs to literally sing a song, which is a little silly. But her singing Portrait A song is like threefold. So like, yes, she literally does need to sing a song, but she sings a song about her and Pip being together, reestablishing the physical connection between them. But thirdly, singing is also symbolic of confidence. Even though Pip isn't by her side, she is still in Zip's heart, and because of that, Zip was able to find her own confidence. Beautiful. And then after this is where I don't really know what to think about Zip running off. Because yes, her arc is like about finding the strength in herself, but it's more so about that she doesn't have to do this alone. And as long as her friends are by her side, she can accomplish anything. So why does she keep leaving them in the dust? Especially because even in the end, she runs out to fight the storm, but she figures out, oh fuck, I cannot do this by myself. Like, did she actually not learn her lesson? That's what I'm confused about. I guess there was another issue that I just thought about. So Zip is a princess of a different kind. And Queen Haven says that she does expect Zip to lead in her own way. And in the beginning, Zip's method of leading is running headfirst into the problem by herself and taking in all responsibility. And as the story progresses, this ideology morphs as she tries to figure out what it means to be a queen. When the storm hits, Zip runs off by herself, but by the end of part 1, Zip embraces the help of her friends and delegates. And this continues into part 2, up until Misty tells her about the wall of wind surrounding the city. At first, she wants to try slamming into the storm herself to see if she can break through, but then backtracks to think about what a queen should do and what her mom would do, which is exactly what her mother told her not to do. Without Pip by her side, Zip does not have confidence in her ability to lead. And ultimately, this exact moment does lead to horrendous consequences. Zip's idea to think about what a queen should do is what gives Misty the bright idea to start thinking on her own. God damn it, Zip, you're enabling her! But in all seriousness, it's supposed to be good that she's taking on help from others. Zip's got the right idea, but she's doing it for the wrong reasons. Then almost immediately after this, Zip rushes off into the storm by herself to rescue any pony still trapped. It's hard to tell, is this a good idea, is this a bad idea? But in the end, Zip was confident she could do this, and she did do it. But not completely without consequences. Not that it matters because Zip, actually never gets punished for running off on her own. But because Zip decided to finish the evacuation by herself, it leaves her completely exhausted. And surprise, Zip actually learns from this. The next time Zip wants to fly off into the storm, she brings her sister and Sunny with her. Whoa! And this is where Pip drops the lesson that you can't solve every problem by punching it as hard as you can. Sometimes you need to think and ask for help. And Zip's like, I can't fly through the storm by myself, I need both of your guys' help. And Sunny and Pip are like, we're with you all the way, even though Zip literally carries them the whole way up to Cloudsdale. Because it turns out she had the strength inside of her the whole time, but she needed the magic of friendship to help it shine through. And then they talk to Flash Magnus, and Flash Magnus is like, You need the combined power of technology and Pegasus magic to tame the storm and maintain the factory. And then down in Zephyr Heights, we have Team Misty working on that Zeppelin, representing the ability to not brute force your way through a problem, but to think about it and come up with a clever solution. Going back to what Pip tells Zip, you are literally slamming your face into a wall. We have to come up with a better idea. Misty had the confidence to try and brute force her way through that wind wall, but she had the brain power to think of a better solution. Let's take every opponent to the castle. Let's get a giant flying boat. That's my engineer. And it's really hype and it feels like the whole story is coming together. And then Zip decides to split up from her friends. Screw them. She gets to the factory, she pulls a lever. Bye, Misty, you're not important anymore. And then she sees that her friends are dying, falls to despair, walks away to leave them to die. And Sunny, instead of shining brightly with hope, allows Zip to fall to despair and walks away with her. There is no loyalty here. Rainbow Dash would be so disappointed. Zip decides to figure out the mystery of the Wonderbolts instead, and then, miraculously, she figures out how to stop the storm, ditches her dumbass friends again to punch the storm all by herself, no help needed, and in the end, she tells her mom, I did exactly what I thought you would do. No, Zip, that wasn't the moral. You were supposed to lead in your own way, not do what you thought your mom would do, and you weren't supposed to do everything by yourself. But punching the problem as hard as she can is what she was meant to do. So, hey! I'm pretty sure I've already elaborated enough about poor Misty getting written out of the plot, but Sunny also kinda gets shafted. Even though she has, like, a pretty minor role in the story, but just like Zip, she's right there, lacking confidence the whole way. She doesn't have faith in her magic, and she doesn't even use her magic once to try to fend off the Yakunsana. But eventually, when she gets backed into a corner, she does what she does best. Make some goddamn smoothies. And her idea worked. She did not have the confidence in her physical ability to brute force this, but she came up with an idea to work around it. But this ain't some pansy Team Misty, this is Team Zip. Up in Team Zip, we believe in our own strength to brute force through the problem and have the will to never give up. But when Zip loses hope, after seeing her friends stuck in the storm, Sunny does not step up. She just walks away with Zip. That's such a miss, and it's sad. IMO, Sunny should have had the hope that she could make a difference and help her friends, and find the confidence to fly off into the storm to help, which would ignite Zip's hope, and then she would go detective mode to actually try to find a way to help her friends instead of just, like, getting distracted and simply wanting to know what the Wonderbolts are. Because it's not like Sunny's absence would take away anything from the museum scene. She might as well just be off doing something cool. But, yeah, TLDR. I think the story starts off strong, but then kind of like somewhere during the third part, the story takes a pivot and then tries its best to salvage all the character and plot points that it's set up so far, but just leaves a lot of things without a proper resolution. Which is really odd because the core of the story is quite simple. Factory makes storm, Zip punch storm. There was so much time to elaborate on things, but we spent it running away from hedgehogs. So many random plot points that don't have any explanation. I'm a princess of a different kind. Always trying to find out why. Unless it's why Zephyr Heights has no history from Celestia or Twilight's Reign, or why the Yakunsana have infested Cloudsdale, or why Cloudsdale parked over Zephyr Heights. It's kind of explained why the factory is making storm clouds. Some combination of magic coming back and a lightning bird maybe juicing it and starting it up. I was able to come up with a rational reason for why Cloudsdale may have come to Zephyr Heights and then parked. So Rainbow's like, we don't know what'll happen to Cloudsdale without magic. It's possible the Pegasi intentionally set up Cloudsdale to travel to the position of the new Pegasus capital, Zephyr Heights, and then when magic went away, Cloudsdale stopped, and when it came back, Cloudsdale started moving again. Kinda wish the story would just tell us why. On a similar note, I don't like that the story tells us some basic Pegasus mechanics through the holographic mediums of Flash Magnus and Rainbow Dash. We literally have a detective and a lore whore on the squad. Could the two of them really not find any answers to anything by themselves? Like, what if Rainbow Dash and Flash Magnus and even the goddamn Somnambula cameo for no reason were actual books and stuff that referenced actual things about them and how it relates to the current problem at hand? Kind of like how Zip finds the vlog that Rainbow makes at the end. The fact that we just had two AIs just dump basic information is so whatever. I said earlier that I think the story is okay. It's not that I didn't like it, I'm just more so disappointed. The opening just seems so strong and well put together. But then by the end, it's just like, am I imagining things? Was the story not well put together this whole time? The story spends so much time building up Misty, and if the plan from the start was to just make her be a problem at the end for Zip to solve and not have her do anything, why didn't we spend that time, like, actually building up the actual world and story instead of building up Misty's character to fail? I just got some very mixed feelings. I liked the whole first two parts. When I say parts, sorry, Issue 2 is parts 2 and 3, and Issue 3 is parts 4 and 5. That's how I'm internally cataloging these. And for parts 3, 4, and 5, there were, like, a lot of segments I liked, but those are also the parts where everything just kind of derails. I did like the ending of Zip Punch Storm. Very cool. Wish she didn't run off by herself, but what could you do? I liked the video that Rainbow Dash left at the end. I liked that Zip sang Portrait Day song. I liked the character development of Misty and Sunny until they became meaningless. Pip and Sunny having the confidence and hope that they can stop the Zeppelin? Completely futile, but hey, they tried. Pip booty bopping the hedgehog so it breaks her phone? Pretty funny. You know what I did like the entire way through? Pip. Pip was the one character who was just flawless the whole time. What a perfect supporting character. Oh, and Izzy! Izzy was great too! She was there for Misty the whole time to help and support her. Perfect. And Hitch. Hitch didn't do anything, but he had nothing going for him the whole time anyway. It's so funny that we had a villainous gang of hedgehogs on Cloudsdale, and then the one pony who could have maybe taken care of it did not. I think I have said everything. Alright, let's move on with art changes real quick. In this panel of Pip's phone being destroyed by the hedgehog, it actually shows Zip's hoof, so I recolored it to be Pip's hoof. In this panel here, where Zip realizes she needs to sing, I added music notes to Don't Move just because technically that is where I start the song. In this panel here, Sunny's wing is colored orange, so I make it yellow. When we're talking to Rainbow Dash in Cloudsdale, in this shot here, the text is coming out of the tutorial pony who shows them about punching clouds. I decided I wanted to just give it to Rainbow Dash. I don't know, so I did. And lastly, when Sunny is helping fight the storm, she does not have her horn in any shot, so I drew it on. Okay, I think that is everything. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until next time.